Married and alone triggers. If you're married and alone, you do have emotional triggers. That's our topic. If you haven't subscribed, you definitely want to hit that button. If you got a question, put it in the box. We'll get to it as soon as possible. Listen, if you're married and alone, first of all, you know it's not your fault. If you're married to an intimacy anorexia, it's not your fault. He or she would have been like this no matter who they married. They would have been disconnected, aloof, not connecting to you spiritually, emotionally, or even sexually. Even if they're having sex, feeling alone during or afterwards would be normal. But I want to cover in this segment the triggers that you can have because of the neglect that you're experiencing on a regular basis. Now, you know in the book, Partner Betrayal Trauma, and if you haven't gotten that, click the button below. We know that our research shows whether a woman experiences infidelity, pornography addiction, or intimacy anorexia, she has the same responses of PTSD, depression, self-esteem, and so many other statistical impacts. If you haven't watched or read that, please do. And as a man, you have very similar impacts. We just haven't had the research on that. However, I've worked with thousands of couples who have intimacy anorexic spouses, and I've seen men suffer as well. But I want to cover the triggers, whether you're a man or a woman, that you will experience inside an intimacy anorexia relationship and what you can do about it. Let me go through some of the emotions that will definitely trigger you. Number one is being rejected, because you've been rejected so many times, sometimes hundreds of thousands of times, spiritually rejected, emotionally rejected, feeling rejected even sexually. All of that adds up. And so you might overreact. And that's a sign that you're triggered. So here's how you know you're triggered. A level 2 offense happens and you're responding at level 9. You're triggered. Okay? It's disproportionate. Now, it's usually based on a history of that event. Now, feeling unimportant, like you're just a manager, you're just a paycheck, you don't have any real value. And when you hit that I have no value kind of emotion, the chances of you getting triggered are pretty high. If you feel untouched, even if you're laying in the same bed, but you're not held, you're not caressed, you're not explored, you can be triggered by feeling untouched. Even it can really just break your heart. You can just cry. You can want to leave and go sleep in another room. And sometimes you might even do that. If you feel unloved, especially in the way you want to be loved, especially in the way that you've communicated, I would like a birthday gift. I would like to be touched. I would like to be praised. I would like to be caressed. I would like to have date nights, okay? Whatever you've communicated and they withhold exactly what you communicate, feeling unloved is very painful and it can trigger you. Feeling not pursued. We don't make time for just you and I, whether it's a weekend away, a date night, or just being alone in a way that sensuality, sexuality, and romance could actually happen. Feeling disrespected after all you've sacrificed, all you've done, how you've pretended, how you've put a happy face on this in public, and feeling disrespected can just send you over the edge, okay? Feeling discounted, like you don't matter again, that can trigger you. Now, these are all triggers, and there's many others that you can experience if you feel married and alone. If you're married to an intimacy anorexic, these triggers are normal. You will feel these. Now, how you respond, I want to give you a couple things here, all right? The video Triggered is in the description. I would definitely get that because I spend more than an hour explaining what to do with triggers, the different types of triggers you can have, and how to manage each of those types of triggers. Also, the link for emotional fitness so that you can have a feeling rise up. You can manage that feeling inside your body, and you can switch that feeling. So when you are triggered, if you're in a support group, a phone group, and if you're not in a phone group, call my office, 719-278-3708. Get in a phone group for married and alone. Get into our free Facebook group. Find some people that you can talk to about this who really understand your pain. And whether you're a man or a woman, we have groups for both. You're in pain. Being neglected is painful and over years traumatizing. So validate that pain for yourself and get support. If you're not working in any of the workbooks, definitely do that, because the more work you do, the less likely you are to be triggered. So making a phone call when you're triggered can be really helpful. Excuse yourself from the event. You know what? I need to make a phone call, and go make a phone call. Why? You will be supported and your emotional state will switch. When you're triggered, you're in an emotional state. You're not in a cognitive state. You're not necessarily even going to make sense if you try to explain it to your spouse why you are going off. Because the reason you're going off isn't always just because of the event. It's because this type of event has happened hundreds of times. And you are overreacting because of the hundreds of times you just swallowed it. You just took it. You just let it roll over you. But actually what it was doing was accumulating this kind of like neglect plaque, and you're just kind of like puking it out. So having someone ground you who really gets it, not just anybody, but someone that can say, I know what you mean. I'm here for you. Okay. Secondly, get counseling. Do not go through married and alone. Don't go through this by yourself. You need someone who understands. Now, not every counselor understands. Many don't. Most don't, actually. You want someone who's been trained in partner betrayal trauma. You can call my office, 719-278-3708. If there's not someone close to you, they can get you with a coach or a counselor who can do some phone connection with you, and you can get intelligent support. The last thing you need to do is go to a counselor or a pastor who blames you for why you are being neglected. That will not go well with you, and it could definitely hurt you even more. And also learn the skills in emotional fitness. Learn how to feel a feeling. Learn how to switch a feeling so that you can master that process. It would take way too long for me to explain it right now, but I want to encourage you. There is a skill level that you can actually feel rejection. You can magnify that feeling so that you can manage it at a magnified state and shift it to something that you prefer. You do not have to be a slave to your emotional reactions. You can learn how to act out of a chosen emotion. And this will help you a lot. Another thing that will help you is having boundaries when you get triggered. Now, and what that means is when you get triggered, you're going to let your spouse know, listen, if I get triggered, here's what I'm going to do. All right. And if this is interfered with, here's what I'm going to do. You want to have clear boundaries of saying, listen, if I get triggered, I'm going to say, listen, I'm being triggered and I need some time, and just take the time and make the phone call, go for a walk, do what you need to do to de-escalate yourself because you are being triggered. Because the game with intimacy anorexia is to make you look like the crazy person. And they often do this by neglecting you and making you act out, okay, especially in front of others. So look, there's crazy mommy, there's crazy daddy, see what I'm suffering with, right? That's a game that they play to make you look bad so that if things happen in the future, they don't look like the crazy person. Do not engage in that game. You do need support. You do need to work on your own recovery. Those are your things. I would also say stay physically working out, get your heart rate up, get it so that you are not suffering physically from the damage of neglect. You need to keep your nutrition well, keep your exercise well, so that you are in better condition to go through this trauma. Now, if you need support, call our office, 719-278-3708. And I really hope if you're experiencing these triggers that you get to manage them. Because once you manage your triggers, you no longer are in the game of making you look like the one who's out of control. I hope this has been helpful. Reach out for help if you need it. If you haven't subscribed and you're married and alone, we have so many of these kind of venues that we talk about. So please subscribe so you can be alerted to that. And also, if you got a question, put it in the box.